Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Let's Play Murder on the Orient Express. Now with the ability to take fingerprints. Although we don't know how to actually get them. Let's see what weird things we've picked up. A butter knife, for some reason, blank cards, which are good for the fingerprints. Cake batter, a new cleaver, used to cut through things. Freshly squeezed orange juice, if we can find a use for it. A few glasses, punch bowl, sides quite high. Ice bucket, which is cold, it's ice. Bucket stamped on the backside cover, Royal Military Library, Twickenham. I don't know what's going on. So, what's that? Standard turkey based. Hang on, no. Where have I put you? Ah! Nothing else of interest. So, wait, hang on. So that blows things. If we haven't got a brush for our fingerprints.
Formidable.
Aha! Right. Let's see if this works then. So we got this.
Formidable.
So then, actually I want to use the... from that.
I obtained a clear print and have filed it.
Right. Got that. Which doesn't... So we've got... Okay, that's how we get the fingerprints. Okay. I don't think I actually spoke through that idea. But, basically, if we don't have a brush, then we need something to kind of get the substance onto it. I don't know why we can't, like, sprinkle it on, but... I'm not a CSI person. So, but now we've done that... So, is there anything... Was there anything else that had... oh, I've got to look through now. I don't know what the blingle means. Does that mean I need to... I mean, it doesn't make sense, but...
Those don't work together.
Okay. This is smudge, which you've used. So that's a smudge there.
I obtained a clear print and have filed it.
Violet. The stiletto.
These prints don't match.
Okay, they don't match. That's probably quite useful to know. So then we go back, and everything just moves around. It's a little frustrating. I don't know why these keep removing. Well, as soon as you get a good combination, it stops. That's not what we want. That's not going to have it. Fingerprints. And the matches won't. Big shot. Sleeping draft doesn't. Clock doesn't. Morse code. Usable. Pipe cleaner obviously won't. We already used that. I think that's everything. And there. Nothing there. I don't know what's going on. These. I think the blingle just means that there's something there, rather than using something. Smudge on there, right? Okay. Oh, I've got to put the turkey baster on again.
I obtained a clear print and have filed it.
This is from the one over in this, so the padlock. That doesn't look like it matches, so I won't just throw it in. What was the padlock? Oh my goodness, there's no logic to where things go. Absolutely none. Really frustrating. Right. It's quite useful. The bar has nothing in it. Random water glass. key. Doctor's uniform. Sellotape. Pliers. Use the snowshoes we've been using. Copper bracelet. Pallet chauffeur's thing. Gloves captive. High thing. And then water glass. Orange juice. That smells nice. And right. Okay, there we go. Now to chat with people and get their fingerprints. I'll talk with people.
I'm sorry to disturb you.
Not at all. As you can see, I'm not exactly occupied at the moment. And I do know you're helping that funny little Belgian detective. What can I do for you?
Your full name, permanent address, and age, please.
Your full name, permanent address, and age, please.
Mary Hermione Debenham, 32. I'm between permanent addresses at the moment.
What can you tell me of the murder last night?
What can you tell me of the murder last night?
I'm afraid I have nothing to tell you. I went to bed and slept.
Are you not distressed by what's happened?
You seem very at ease. Are you not distressed by what has happened?
Distressed? I have not really thought about it from that point of view. No, I cannot say that I am at all distressed. After all, people die every day.
Well, not three
They
doors
die,
down.
yes, but murder is thankfully a little more rare.
Were you acquainted with Monsieur Ratchet?
Were you acquainted with Monsieur Ratchet?
I saw him for the first time at dinner last night. Oh, I suppose at the station, perhaps. I don't recall.
How did he strike you?
I hardly noticed him.
He did not strike you as an evil personality?
Really, I cannot say I thought about it. Whether or not I liked Mr. Ratchet's face does not seem to be helpful in finding out who killed him.
May I take your fingerprints?
I'd like to take your fingerprints.
How very enterprising of you. How do we proceed?
I have some typewriter ribbon.
Splendid. This is all rather exciting.
Okay.
Do you know who Monsieur Ratchet really was?
Haven't a clue. Who was he?
Cassetti, the man behind the Armstrong kidnapping.
That was quite abominable.
Where did you begin your journey?
Where did you begin your journey?
Baghdad.
What were you doing there?
I have been acting as governess to 2 children.
So, what is your final destination?
What is your final destination?
London. I'm giving up on Baghdad. Not much happens there. I'm hoping to find a suitable post in London.
How well do you know Colonel Arbuthnot?
How well do you know Colonel Arbuthnot?
That's a very impertinent question. And I'll not answer it.
What can you tell about Mademoiselle Schmidt?
What can you tell me about Mademoiselle Schmidt?
She's a nearly perfect traveling companion. Quiet, polite, thinks the world of her princess.
What is the color of her dressing gown?
Her dressing gown. It's dark blue. Flannel.
Did she leave the compartment at any time during the night?
Did Mademoiselle Schmidt leave your compartment at any time during the night?
She was with the princess, reading, I believe, until quite late. I awoke when she returned. I remember thinking she was not paid enough for such long hours and checked my watch. It was 12:38.
Thank you, Mademoiselle Debenham.
Assume this doesn't match.
These prints don't match.
That was not the fingerprint I took. Not at all. Gee, this stiletto? Hang on, these look like they could match.
These prints don't match.
Are you sure about that? Talk to the Count and Countess.
Count Andrigny, I am acting on behalf of Monsieur Hercule Poirot in this matter. May I speak with you?
I quite understand your position. I will do anything I can to assist you.
May I see your passport, please?
May I have your passport, please?
Yes, certainly.
Rudolph Joseph Andrigny. Aged 34. A diplomatic passport.
Yes, I am in the Hungarian consular service.
Wife Elena Maria Andrenyi. Aged 20.
Yes, we have only been married a year.
Aged 20, thank you.
Are you aware of the identity of the deceased, monsieur? No. Can you tell me, let's go with the, how you spent the evening last night.
Can you tell me how you spent the evening after dinner last night?
We had my wife's compartment made up while we were at dinner. On returning, we sat up in mine playing croquet. At about 11 o'clock, my wife retired for the night. The attendant made up my compartment, and I also went to bed.
That's a question. If you're married, why aren't you sharing a compartment? Well, are you aware of the identity of the deceased, monsieur?
Are you aware of the identity of the deceased, monsieur?
If you want to know his name, surely it is in his passport.
The name on his passport is Ratchet. That is not his real name. He is in fact Cassetti, who was responsible for the kidnapping and death of a child in America.
Ah, that certainly should throw light upon the matter.
Have you been to America, Monsieur le Comte?
Have you been to America, Monsieur le Comte?
Yes, I was in Washington for a year. Extraordinary country.
Did you know the Armstrong family?
The kidnapped victims.
Yes.
Armstrong. Armstrong. It is difficult to recall. So many diplomatic functions. So many hands to shake. I cannot recall. I'm sorry.
May I take your fingerprints?
I'd like to take your fingerprints.
Whatever you need to do, I will be happy to cooperate.
Oh, they always have the same picture, don't they? Did the sudden stop of the train awaken you?
The sudden stop of the train awakened you?
Naturally. I learned from the attendant of the avalanche, then went in to my wife and comforted her.
When did you return to your own compartment?
When did you return to your own compartment?
Well, I didn't, actually. That is to say, I did not like to leave my wife alone after the shock. We passed the remainder of the night together.
Other than the train stopping, did you notice anything unusual?
Other than the train stopping, did you notice anything unusual?
No, I don't think so. I dropped off to sleep sometime before 2 a.m. and slept through until this morning.
You didn't hear the commotion in the compartment next to yours? The American lady who occupies it had quite an attack of hysterics and rang repeatedly for the attendant.
When was this?
At approximately 1:15.
No, I'm afraid I didn't notice.
Do you smoke, Monsieur le Comte?
Do you smoke, Monsieur le Comte?
The occasional cigar only. They are always offered to me, you understand, but I do not much like them.
Merci, Monsieur le Comte.
Right, okay, well, first thing to do now is check. I don't think any of these are going to fit, are they?
These prints don't match.
Stiletto, it doesn't look like it matches, and padlock will either.
These prints don't match.
No, but I'm not sure these three match. One thing I liked about the CSI game I played a while ago is I'd be able to check these three against each other. This system I'm not sure I like. But
Countess, may I ask you some questions regarding the death of Monsieur Ratchet?
I'm not sure what I can do to help, but I'll try.
what is the colour of your dressing gown?
What is the color of your dressing gown?
Why do you ask me that?
Detectives have to ask all sorts of questions. Forgive me.
It is yellow. Corn-colored chiffon. Are you really a detective, mademoiselle? I was told you worked for the railway.
Well, I'm assisting a detective. That's what I meant.
Is he a Yugoslavian detective?
I think he would tell you he belongs to the world, madame.
I think that's kind of that's from the book, I think, that conversation. Have you been to America?
Have you been to America?
No, mademoiselle. My husband was posted there. Diplomatic duties. But we were not married then.
May I take your fingerprints?
May I take your fingerprints?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that is just a basic one. That's frustrating. When did you fall asleep last night?
When did you fall asleep last night?
Soon after 1 o'clock, I believe.
Did you hear or see anything unusual?
Did you hear or see anything unusual last evening?
After the train stopped?
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
You didn't hear Mrs. Hubbard ringing her bell and calling out at around 1:15?
No, it would be very unlikely if I did. I'm sorry.
Good day to you, Madame la Comtesse.
Okay. I doubt she's gonna have men. Ooh, hang on. No, that's. I don't think the stiletto fits.
These prints don't match.
No. Are you sure? Might just be the angle that you've taken them, but they look like they might do.
Have you enjoyed rummaging around in my room?
May I take your fingerprints?
I would like to fingerprint you.
What do you have there? A typewriter ribbon? You're gonna smear ink from that on my fingers?
That was my intention.
And how do you plan to clean that mess off afterwards?
I have something to clean your hands with.
Cocktail napkins? Good gracious, sweetie. What kind of fleabag investigation are you conducting here anyway?
I appreciate your cooperation.
And people say only the English are sarcastic.
That will do for now, Madame Hubbard.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't really have any kind of thick tumbler. I don't know. No, nothing. Ask you anything?
May I have your passport, please?
Oui, mademoiselle. You will find it in room 1-2 in the Athens-Paris coach.
Okay. What can you tell me of your movements after dinner?
What can you tell me of your movements after dinner?
I came in here to attend to the bar after everyone went to their rooms. I cleaned the salon car and went to the Athens-Paris coach to rest.
What time was that?
I closed the bar at midnight, so it would be a few minutes after that.
Did you see or hear anything unusual last night?
Did you see or hear anything unusual last night?
No, mademoiselle. The Athens-Paris coach was very quiet. And of course, the door leading to the Calais coach is locked. One can pass through only if Pierre Michel or Matteo opens it for him.
What do you know of the chef?
What do you know of Klaus, the chef?
An artiste de la cuisine, and just as temperamental as a painter. Vous comprenez? No one is allowed to enter his kitchen.
His menu seems to overemphasize meat dishes.
It is true that. They call him Le Boucher, but not to his face, of course.
The butcher. It suits him.
Thank you. Fingerprints, please.
I would like to take your fingerprints.
I see. Very well then.
Oh my goodness. More conversation. Do you know that Monsieur Ratchet was killed with a knife?
Do you know Monsieur Ratchet was killed with a knife?
I had heard this, oui, but why? Do you think Klaus may have stabbed him?
A chef that temperamental? If someone was to criticize his masterpieces?
Mais non, mademoiselle. C'est très absurd. Klaus would not stab anyone. Not with a knife. He would hack them into little medallions with his cleaver.
He does seem more temperamental than usual today, though.
Klaus seems even more temperamental than usual today.
I fear an approaching catastrophe, mademoiselle.
Worse than avalanches and murder?
Certainement. Special dinner menus, as you no doubt know, are printed in advance of our departure in Istanbul. Here is tonight's menu. As you can see, tonight he is to serve Wiener Schnitzel and Eldafe Salat, native dishes of Austria, in honor of the Count and Countess Andreni.
Veal and potatoes. Why does this not surprise me?
But so many have asked for the salads, almost in defiance of Chef Klaus, and the porters have failed to put aboard enough vinegar and olive oil for the Eldafe Salat. Klaus is in a rage. The embarrassment will be too much for him.
And what do you know of his movements last night?
What do you know of Klaus's movements last night?
As usual, he stayed in his precious kitchen, preparing his pastries and sauces for the next day's meals. He passed through the salon car a few minutes before midnight in a rage because one of the steak knives is missing. Passengers will take anything as a souvenir if it is not bolted down. Why, the things that have gone missing on this trip would astound you.
But perhaps they were not all taken as souvenirs. Perhaps some person, in order to do good, borrowed them?
Mademoiselle, forgive me, but I do not understand what you are talking about.
Let it pass. What did Klaus do after he entered the salon car?
Nothing. We went together to the Athens-Paris coach.
Good day, monsieur.
Okay. I picked up his fingerprint. Lucien. The stiletto? No, that doesn't make any sense.
These prints don't match.
Steak knife is missing. Apparently. Let's continue talking, though. Ooh. I have no idea. Is that supposed to be patience? Right, so... Ooh, the menu. Let's have a look. Of special interest are Wiener Schnitzel and Erdapfelsalat in honor of the Count and Countess and Ragny. Right. So the steak knife is missing. We've not found anything. We've kind of been through everywhere.